What is up, YouTube? This is DBZ439 coming at you with another deck profile, and this time it's Sword Soul Tenyi. I recently took this deck to the Dallas Regionals, and I got 46th place going X3. There was 9 rounds of Swiss with over 330 people, and the top 48 were given invites to the NAWCQ 2023. So I got my invite. I went X3. It's not, the greatest record, but in my opinion, everything from ninth to 48th is the same thing. So we take those. Let me break down my matchups real quick before we actually start the deck profile. And again, everything is going to be in the description box below, everything from the rounds to the actual deck list. So feel free to use that for your reference. But round 1, I played Sprite. I won 2-1. Round 2 was Sprite again. I won 2-0. Round 3, I played Despia 1-2-1. Round 4, I lost against Labyrinth 1-2. Rounds 5 and 6 were both Kashtira, in which I won 2-1. Round 7, I lost to Pirelli 1-2. Round 8, I won against Dragon Link 2-0. And then round 9, I played against Despia, which was my final loss, which was 1-2. I will say the deck performed pretty well, and I lost to 3 different decks in Labyrinth, Pirelli, and Despia. But one common denominator I will say is Nibiru. All those matches, I lost really hard to Nibiru. As you know, Sword Soul can play around Nibiru-ish, but usually like you have to open long one plus something else. So you do expend a lot of resources. But I got nibbed so many times, so that's something I have to be more careful about. But other than that, I was really happy with the deck's performance. And yeah, I went X3, and my tiebreakers were good enough to get me the 46th place. So with that said, let's start the deck profile with the main deck. Starting off with the Sword Soul cards. So I run one Taya. So this is kind of new. Most builds play 2, which is actually correct, but in my build, I'm trying to A, cut it to 40, and B, accommodate some of the new support in Syac. So in Syac, we got Ringo Worm, and I'm playing 2 copies of Ringo Worm. We'll get there, and I'll probably showcase a combo towards the end. But to essentially make space for Ringo Worm, I had to cut, cards, and I ended up just cutting the second Taya. I do miss the second one, but I could bump it up to 42. We'll see, how I feel going down the line, especially how this new format shapes up. But for now, I'm just running one Taya. The other normal summon, Moe, obviously really good. Lets you draw 1 card synchro as long as you have a Sword Soul in hand. Your extender, the long one, helps you facilitate synchro 10 plays. So that's really strong. The honorary Sword Soul, triple Ecclesia. She's really good, being able to tag out and then get into either Taya or Moe is really strong. So that's really nice. Onto the Tenyi lineup. Triple Ashina, again pretty standard. And then double Vishuda, and then double Adhara. So this is kind of a slimmed down version of the Tenyi package. Most people play more Vishudas and Adharas. Again, I'm trying to keep it consistent with the 40 number. So, again, I'm just, cutting some corners here with Taya and some of the Tenyis. But again, I just really wanted to accommodate the new support in Ringo Worm. I really like Ringo Worm. It really elevates the ceiling of the deck, but by itself, it doesn't do anything for the deck, unfortunately. And I know that, another factor that you have to consider is it's a dragon, so you can't reveal it with Moe, so there's no synergy there. But the token that it produces after synchro summoning and you banishing it in the grave, that is a worm that's level 2. That's a really good utility of this card, because it's it can be a tuner or a non-tuner, and because it's a worm, you can link it off for like Shaman of the Tenyi, for example, so that comes up sometimes. But I'll try to showcase a combo towards the end of the video on how I like to use Ringo Worm. Okay, so that's it for like the engine, for the Sword Soul engine. Let's get on to the hand traps. So I'm maining 12 hand traps. I'm maining triple Nib, and then triple Ash. Ash is going to be good because Despia is going to be more prevalent, even though Expulsion got banned. Triple Valor. I think this card is gonna slowly make its way back to the format. Arise, it doesn't. I mean, you can still hit the unicorn in the cash matchup, but with Arise Heart in the format, it's pretty dead mid to late game because you can't really like hit anything as it needs to get sent to grave. So that's it for the monster lineup. Again, my other. I said I made 12 hand traps. The other one is going to be imperm. Once we get to the traps, I'll show you that. So that's it for the monster lineup. Onto the spells. Triple emergence. Again, road of the deck. You have the max on it. Double vessel. A lot of players like to play Shathana with the circle. I'm a vessel type person because I really like making Chowfang. Chowfang just helps you play around Nib, which I faced a lot of at the regional. So I just want to help myself try to like this plus Tenny is even Chi-Chow, like if your hand is really that bad. But most of the time I try to go Chowfang using Vessel. So I like Vessel. I think it's just a Foolish and a Rotom card is really good. Another power spell, Double Desires, it's really strong. And then the last of, I am playing the one Sacred Summit. Sacred Summit is really good with the Ringo Worm combo, and I'll show you why. It's basically a searchable monster reborn, helps you extend, and it's also a Sword Soul name, so you can reveal it off a Moyi or pitch off a long one, and even banish off a Taya. So there's a lot of utility. You don't see a lot of players playing it, but I'll show you the combo towards the end. Okay, so onto the traps. Again, I mentioned meaning 12 hand traps, of them being imperm. Imperm I think is going to be good. Just really generic, doesn't trigger talents, so Imperm's nice. And then last trap, obviously the one blackout. So that rounds it off for the main deck. Again, I kept it at 40. I could bump it up to 42, but you guys let me know what you think on how you would play Sword Soul with the Ringo package. Quickly onto the side deck, triple Drone Lockbird. Just I'm trying to make my side deck as potent as possible with like blowout cards. So Droll is a blowout card. Another blowout card is Dark Ruler. It's really good against like build-a-board decks, like Sprite, for example. I also see back row being a threat going into the next format. So I'm maining Triple Cosmic, helps you go first and second. And Runic can't protect Fountain with like Huggins if you have a Cosmic as opposed to like Twin Twisters or Lightning Storm. And then Triple Evenly, another blowout card. I think decks like Sky Striker and Control are going to come back Labyrinth, so I really like Evenly going into the next format. And then finally, triple Anti-Spell for going first. So Anti-Spell is really good. Basically IO, and then if you're hindered by your own Anti-Spell, you can easily pop it with Baxia and revive something and then continue to play. But you don't run that many spells anyways, but that's just a power play that you can do. And especially if you have another anti-spell for the follow-up, you can turn it off and then turn it back on. So that's it for the side deck. Let's get onto the extra deck. So we have, for the links, Double Monk. Usually this should be a 3 of, but I cut one for a Ringo card. So I'll show you what that is. And then obviously the one Shaman. Really good synergy with Ringo Worm. For the Synchro 10s, we have one Barone, one Changing, and then the one Sinister. All these are standard. Barone helps you play around Nib. Changing helps you go for game. And then Sinister is really good for controlling game state. It's basically a custom card, so that's really insane. For the Synchro 9s, the one Chowfang, I'm a really big fan of this card. That's why I opted to play the Vessel package. A lot of players don't see it coming. Being able to lock your opponent out from light effects is really strong. Onto the Synchro 8s. Another card that I'm playing for the Ringo package is Crystal Wing. Again, I'll showcase the combo here in a little bit, but I really like Crystal Wing and how Ringo Worm facilitates it. Some decks have a hard time getting over it, so I like that card. And then continuing on with the Synchro 8s, obviously double Chi-Chow. The bread and butter of the deck, the one Berserker. Again, the rest of these are pretty standard. Double Baxia, really good card going second, and then helps you go Chowfang. Wouldn't go no less than 2. Again, pretty standard. One Yazi. I haven't been using this card as of late really frequently, but you need it for those cases where you go Taya, banish emergence, decrease level, pop a card, and then continue to play like summon Moe from deck. Last Ringo Worm card is Stardust Charge Warrior. Helps you draw a card, and then it's a level 6, so it's the only 6 I run, and you make it with the Ringo Worm combo. So let me give you the most basic Ringo Worm combo, and I'll kind of walk you through how how I use Ringo Worm to its advantage, and why I'm playing like Crystal Wing plus Charge Warrior in the extra. So let's grab the most common combo you're gonna see are these two. Now another one that you can see is this plus Moe plus a worm, but essentially it's gonna be the same combo. So with these two, you're gonna end up with Chichao plus Crystal Wing plus 2 draws. So let's throw that. So the first thing you want to do, if this is your hand by itself, you activate Emergence. You want to grab the Taya. So now Emergence is going to be engraved. And then you're going to banish the Emergence and generate a token. So with the Sword Soul token active, now you can special summon the Ringo Worm onto the field. I'm trying to squeeze everything on this small screen, so please bear with me. So now this is your field. And then you can go ahead and sync these two into your Chichao. Now you're going to do Chichao Chainlink 1 and then Taya Chainlink 2. So Taya is actually going to dump your Moe. So you're going to dump Moe like this, and then you're going to grab your Summit on Chainlink 1. So now this is the game state right now. So now here you can actually Summit and bring back the Moe, and then synchro the Moe plus the Ringo Worm into your Charge Warrior. So this is where you're going to get your +2. So you go Charge Warrior plus Chainlink 1, Moe Chainlink 2, you draw 2, and then now you can banish the Ringo Worm engrave, generate a token like this, and then synchro these two into your Crystal Wing. So now you're Nibiru proof. Obviously they could have nibbed you on the summon of like Moe, for example. So, I mean, at that point, you're kind of nib potent, but they have to respect the long one extension. So, if you have it, that's really strong. But, I like this combo. It may not be the best, but it's one of the combos that I found that I like to implement in the deck. Another thing that, I was considering is playing Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel recently came out in the new set, so there's some combos that you can run the Chaos Angel, and you basically make it using the Ringo Worm plus a Chicha. And if you make it with a light, Chaos Angel says that all of your monsters, all of your synchro monsters, are unaffected by activated monster effects. So it's a really good way to play around Nibiru, which is something that I found very troublesome, very cumbersome going into the regionals. We will see how Nibiru affects the format going forward. It's going to be a very diverse format, in my opinion, but it's contingent upon how frequently people are going to be playing Cash, because I feel like people won't give up on Cash so easily. Another sleeper deck I feel about going into the next format is Super Heavy Samurai. I think a lot of people will be kind of shying away from Droll in the main, especially, maybe in the side for like Striker, for example. But for the most part, it can still combo, because I see like they're using Wagon as an extender as opposed to Soul Piercer, because Wagon can grab you the Soul Gaia booster, which attaches, and then they can like rank 4 into like Giga Giant, and then Giga Giant grabs the Wakaushi. So I think that's a pretty sleeper deck, but basically my point is like it really I think this deck is really dependent on how hand trap heavy the next format is. This deck is resilient, but sometimes it just loses to like 2-3 hand traps, so we'll see how that ends up. Okay, so that's kind of my rant and how I pilot the deck and kind of my tech choices going to the format. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment and like down below and let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.